Go ahead.
Thanks, Jen. A couple on topics we haven't touched on yet. But Politico ran a poll yesterday, I'm not sure if you saw it, finding that 53% of Americans think that there should be a ban on transgender athletes competing in women's sports. Included in that were 40% of Democratic respondents who agreed that there should be a ban, and 49% of independents. Obviously, the president is committed to advancing LGBTQ rights, but looking at this through his call for unity lens, do you think these opinions are coming more from a place of trying to protect women's rights or equality in athletics, or are these just flat-out bigoted opinions that the president shouldn't acknowledge at this point in time?
The opinions in the poll? Well,
People who voiced support for banning transgender athletes.
I did not conduct the poll, nor was I part of the polling committee that had conversations with people. What I can convey to you is that the president believes, regardless of this poll in Politico, did you say Politico, I guess?
Politico and Morning Consult.
I didn't see the poll or the article, but I didn't read Playbook. But the president believes that transgender rights are human rights, that kids should not be discriminated against and should be able to play sports, and that continues to be his belief, and that hasn't changed. But I'm not going to guess or attribute motive to the people who responded to that poll or any poll, actually.
And then on the House's passage of these gun violence legislation bills today, has the White House been actively courting Republican senators to vote yay for this? Obviously, from a numbers standpoint, it's going to be a lot harder to pass there than in the House. And if not, does the president believe it can pass the Senate, or those two bills can pass the Senate in their current iterations?
Well, first, the president is someone who is personally committed to addressing gun violence and working to put in place gun safety measures. He's called on Congress to act. He supports Congress acting. He's looking forward to working with them to advance priorities, including repealing gun manufacturers' liability shield. Of course, these pieces of legislation were regarding background checks, and he certainly supports actions by the House to pass those bills. And I expect he will look for opportunities to be engaged and advocate for why these are not political issues. These are common sense efforts to keep our children safe, keep our country safe, and ensure that we are reducing gun violence in the country.
And then just one follow-up on the Quad Summit tomorrow. Does the president plan on speaking with our allies about ways we can force China to stop the genocide it's committing against the Uyghur Muslims in Xinjiang in that summit tomorrow?
Well, I know that addressing the genocide against Uyghurs Muslims is something that will be a topic of discussion with the Chinese directly next week. But certainly this conversation tomorrow, and we're hoping, I've invited National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan to come and give you a readout of that meeting. I know there's a lot of interest in the Quad Summit tomorrow, but we expect the conversation to be about a range of global issues. It is not focused on China. Of course, China is a topic on the minds of many leaders and countries, but we expect they will talk about the climate crisis, about economic cooperation, about addressing COVID, a range of issues and discussions. And, certainly the position of the United States is that what is happening is genocide, and we we'll look for opportunities to work with other partners on putting additional pressure on the Chinese, but we will also raise it directly, and it will be a topic of discussion next week. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.